What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another video. All right, guys, we got some big news. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in this trailer specifically. Now, if you know anything about my content, you've been following me for a while, guys. I said this about a year ago. I said, what if they introduce Norma into the game and she actually changes the rarity, or she increases the rarity, or somehow increases the power of our hunters through limit breaking? So with that being said, evolution. Let's check it out, right? This is going to be a big one. So guys, stick with me here on this. All right, so let's watch this here. Every awakening, what does it say here? Let's pause for a second. Every awakened being has a limit to their natural strength, right? You guys can see, if you watch them, if you read them on or anything, you know, limit, everyone has a limit, except for SJW, clearly, to the limit and beyond. However, I have the power to help them. So that's Norma, if I remember that's her name. Reach beyond their initial limits, called Evolution 2026-05. So it looks like, guys, we are seeing some crazy updates that we haven't even heard about coming on the second anniversary. So what does this mean for the game? Let's discuss this. Now, before we go any deeper into this, I want to also just real quick do what I normally do, just because it is coming to an end this season. And I think it's important for the next season to sign up, is to hit that support button, guys. If you haven't done so already, get yourselves into the program. It's free. Hit that support button. And if you have already been supporting, thank you so much. Remember to extend. If you extend, I'll be able to continue giving you codes, free codes. There's 2 more on the way right now, guys. And I want to say a big shout out to my top 10, Jsto, 2640, Makuja, Spartan, 5162, Enel, BW Panda, 21111, 8057, and Jiraiya. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for the support. And everyone else that's been supporting all the way down to the last 2007-20. I appreciate every single person who's been supporting me throughout the game, new or old. Okay, guys, let's go over the game real quick and talk about what this means for the game. All right, guys, so couple things I want to discuss: the good that this can do and the complete harm this can do as well. There's going to be 2 sides to every coin here, guys, 2 sides to every conversation. I want to discuss both of these things because I think this can be a really revolutionary thing for the game in a very positive way, or it can be a very detrimental thing in a very negative way. Now, I want everybody to understand the word evolution is exactly what every gacha has to go through in order to survive. Evolution is literally key to every game and every player continuing. Like I said, and I've said this numerous times, you guys know me about this already, that I said it's very unnatural for any game to survive for this long and any player to unnaturally play a game for this amount of time. 2 years on one game is not the normal feeling for anybody, unless you're a gacha player, which we all are. So we all understand that gachas kind of mimic real life, where you clock in, you do your dailies, you clock out, and then the next day shows up, you do the same thing over and over again, not because of you have to, but because there's FOMO, plus you live with, you're with a community, and the game gives you reasons to do this. Now, SLA is no different, but SLA has become stale. We all know this. A lot of us have, well, many of you guys have quit and are coming back now because you've taken the break. Many of you guys are on the verge of quitting because you're bored, and evolution needs to occur. Now, a couple things that this can do. Number 1, and this is a scary one, but it's been on the docket for a very long time. We know currently SSR is the highest current ranking for any character in the game. That will one day, in my opinion, and I've been saying this for almost over a year and a half now, one day this is going to change. One day we are going to get another legendary rank or a UR rank. If you know anything about Netmarble, they love their UR ranking. Look at 7 Deadly Sins. We're going to get a higher ranking than this. So that's possibility number 1, is that we may see a new rank. Rarities are the number 1 way to increase whale activity, and also the number 1 way to make a lot of your players quit, depending on how you handle it. So there's a double-edged sword here. A lot of people would love to see a UR character come out, or a UR version of a character, or a character to be able to go from SSR to UR, or an SR to an SSR, right? So so this will give every reason for an SR to exist still, is if you're able to take your SRs and increase their ranking to SSRs. This will make it amazing for these characters to be used once again, increasing their skills, but then you need a complete rehaul of stats, rehaul of skills, etc. So that's the most complicated version, is to increase the existing units to another rank. The second option, of course, is to release new rank characters, right? So, for example, we have national level hunters like Thomas, we have national hunters like Reed, we have national hunters like Antoine Cumming, Liu, etc. They are SSR hunters. You can technically release a secondary version of those national level hunters and have them to be the newest rarity just because they're national level, giving them insanely powerful abilities comparison to everybody else in the SSR ranking. That is probably the most clean version that you can do. Don't give it to everybody, give it to a limited few amount of characters, but Double-edged sword again. The downfall is with that, and I hate to give anybody any ideas, but I'm just being honest with you guys. This is just my take on it. As you know, I was thinking of how I've seen other games for the last 20 years, is that they'll make a separate ticket for those characters, and there'll be limited characters that will come back every few months. So you're either going to summon for them and get them, or you're not going to summon. You have to wait. Can treat them like collab characters almost, right? Except they have their own summoning ticket. So that's a double-edged sword. That will also drive a lot of people out, but also bring a lot of people in. Option number 2. That was option number 2. Sorry. Now, number 3 now. Another easy way to do this is to just keep everything as is, and this is the most boring version of it. Keep everything as is, but increase the growth mechanics here to one other level. So go from red to like rainbow or something. So that'll give more stats to the characters and also be able to push characters' skill levels past the 10 mark. Right? You know how we have some of these hit the like 20 mark, etc.? That doesn't stop other things from going further. So skill levels going to 20 is a very easy way to quote unquote evolve the characters. I think those are going to be the fastest and easiest ways to make this work. And it's the least costly way of making things work, which means they're going to have to introduce additional material to get these up further than the 10 mark, which also will increase the percentages of each attack, which will in turn increase the amount of damage we do. I said this in the last stream that we are looking at Dragon Ball numbers recently. And honestly, I feel like it's getting too high. If you know anything about World of Warcraft, by the way, this is an example of what happened in World of Warcraft. The numbers got way too high. Damages was way too high. They had to scale everything back. They had to reduce because just the number calculation on their systems was starting to cost too much money. So I feel like SLA is going to have to do the same, where eventually they're going to need to scale all of these percentages back and then reduce all of the HP of all the monsters, all the defense, etc. Just because eventually your systems just can't keep up. Remember, World of Warcraft Blizzard is a multi-billion-dollar company with insane amount of server space and capacity to hold over 12 million subscribers at once concurrently with their dollar value. Netmarble's not there. So I feel like eventually they will increase perhaps the level of the skills, but scale everything else back, or it will keep it the same and the numbers are going to skyrocket. So this is another easy version of doing evolution. You can definitely scale up everyone's skills and allow them to do more damage. And then at the same time, guys, don't forget the ability to add an extra pair of equipment. In the leaks, it's been there for quite some time. You're able to equip, I believe, belts and shoulders, I think, or something like that. So they could add 2 more equipment slots, allowing us to equip 10 overall versus 8, and then give you a 10-piece set rather than an 8-piece set, completing newer gear that's coming out in the future, right? So that's also another option. But keeping in mind that we do have a roadmap on the way right after the SLC, and a lot of what's going to be happening will probably be identified in the roadmap, plus the next Korean live stream. But those are my takes. I don't know if there's going to be anything else that they could really do to make this happen besides increase everyone's rarity abilities, make everyone a UR possible, or SRs become SSRs. And then the second one is, of course, introduce a brand new UR national level hunters or secondary versions of characters it's going to cost more, and it's going to be its own banner. And then, of course, the skills are the other one. And then lastly, the equipment, I think, is probably the best ways to do this. So these are I'm giving you the worst case scenarios to the best case scenarios. Either way, there's going to be rumblings, guys, in the next few months. There's going to be a lot of people upset. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be happy. So we're going to have a very divided community. The only thing I can suggest is stay strong, communicate with one another respectfully and effectively, and let's get through this together and give the opinions that we have to the devs as a community and not just have one voice speak. And right now, currently, we do a pretty good job of that by voicing ourselves. But again, be respectful, guys, and please leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about what's going to be happening here with this evolution. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.